Before we crack open tonight's cursed can of content, I just want to say a big thank you to all our subscribers, and an extra sinister shout out to the loyal members of the Sinister Elite. You legends help keep the darkness alive. If you're enjoying the stories and want to take it a step further, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and consider joining the Sinister Elite by clicking that join button below. Members get access to creepy custom emojis and exclusive Sinister Elite badges that level up the longer you survive with us. It's like loyalty, but spookier. All right, lights off, headphones in, and let's summon something we'll all regret. The howl hit first. Deep, low, old. So old it shook the stone beneath my feet. Dust drifted from the ceiling. Frost cracked on the walls. The throne behind me flared white. Not softly, not rhythmically, but violently. My father's eyes shot open, pure fear inside them. "He's awake," he whispered. "He's breaking through." The Daywalkers tried to stand. Half of them failed. The blast from the king's attack still lingered in their bones. The leader staggered to his feet, sword cracked, arm bleeding, but he still stood. "That sound," he whispered. "That wasn't an echo." I shook my head. "No," I said. "That was a call." The throne pulsed again. This time the frost didn't just crack. It fell. Whole slabs of ice broke from the walls. Snow drifted in sheets. The leader shouted, "We have to move now!" But it was too late. The ground split open. A long crack ran across the throne hall floor. It stretched from the far tunnel all the way to the base of the throne. The air burned silver. My father pushed himself to a sitting position. Pain etched across his face. "He's not coming from the void," he said. "He's coming from below." The Daywalkers froze. "Below?" one whispered. The leader cursed. "No, the underfrost." My stomach tightened. "What's the underfrost?" The leader looked at me like he hoped I was joking. "The frozen caverns under the Third Line capital, the place the founders used as a prison, for things even they couldn't kill." My breath stalled. "So the Feral King isn't climbing through the void," I said slowly. "No." The leader swallowed. "He's clawing his way into the world." The crack widened. A blast of silver frost exploded upward. I shielded my face. The Daywalkers dove to the sides. My father fell backward. Then, a hand grabbed the edge of the crack. Not a hand. A claw, huge, black, jagged, dripping void frost that steamed on the stone. Another claw followed, plunging into the floor, pulling the giant body upward. The Feral King wasn't fully through, but he was close. The leader screamed, "Get the air out of here!" But I didn't run. Couldn't. My blood burned. The throne blazed behind me. The Feral King's massive head rose into view, black ice skin, eyes like collapsing stars, fangs made of shadow. He opened his mouth and spoke a single word. Not with hunger, not with rage, with recognition. "Child." My knees weakened. "How does he always know me?" I whispered. My father coughed, pain deep in his voice. "Because the ritual bound him to your blood," he rasped. "He senses your awakening. He senses your breath. He senses your fear." The Feral King dragged himself another foot upward. More of his nightmare form emerged. The leader grabbed my arm. "We have to fall back." But the king's voice echoed again. "Come to me." My silver veins flared. A pulse hit my chest. My breath stopped. It wasn't hypnosis. It wasn't enthrallment. It was something deeper. A pull, an instinct, a bond. My father shouted, "Resist him!" I clutched my chest. My heart hammered. "I can't. It feels like he knows me." The throne pulsed behind me, hard enough to knock me forward. Silver light wrapped around my arms, around my ribs, around my throat. The throne was fighting him, trying to protect me, trying to anchor me. The Feral King snarled. His claws dug deeper. The stone cracked. The hall trembled. A massive explosion of frost shot up. The force hurled daywalkers across the hall. It didn't touch me. It avoided me. It curved around me like water around a stone. My father saw it. His eyes widened. "No," he whispered. "No, he's not attacking you." The leader limped to his feet. "What does that mean?" My father swallowed hard. "It means he wants him alive." The Feral King growled, and for the first time, I understood the emotion behind the sound. Not anger, possession. He reached upward, his claws stretching toward me, not to kill, to grab, to claim. The throne roared, a sound like ice splitting mountains, and hurled a shockwave that cracked every stone in the hall. It smashed into me, not hurting, shielding. A barrier formed, pure silver light, a dome, a cage between me and the king. The Feral King slammed his claws against it. The room shook, wind howled, frost stung my skin. The leader yelled, "The throne is protecting him! That's our chance! Move!" But my eyes stayed locked on the Feral King. He stared at me through the barrier, slow, studying, and then he spoke again, a whisper that cut through the world. "You are mine." My heart stopped. My blood turned to ice. I finally understood. He wasn't hunting me. He wasn't waiting to kill me. He was waiting to take me. My father screamed at the daywalkers. "We move now. Get him out of the city before the king breaks through." The silver barrier started cracking. Hairline fractures. Thin. Deadly. The Feral King reared back, ready to smash through. My father forced himself onto his feet. He met my eyes, his voice cracked. "Run!" The throne's barrier buckled. Thin cracks spidered across the silver dome. Each crack glowed white. Each glow pulsed. Each pulse said one thing: he's getting through. The Feral King dug his claws deeper into the stone, pulling his massive body upward, black ice dripping from his skin. Eyes locked on me with terrifying calm. He wasn't rushing. He wasn't raging. He was certain. Certain I was his. The daywalkers surrounded me, weapons drawn, limbs shaking. The leader barked orders. "Move! Move now! We don't have time!" 2 daywalkers grabbed my father. He groaned in pain. Silver blood dripped onto the frost. The leader grabbed my arm. "Kid, if that thing breaks out, none of us make it." A deep crack sounded behind us. I turned. The barrier split another foot. The Feral King pressed his face to the light, shadow fangs scraping the surface. His whisper crawled into my skull. "Child, you run because you fear what you are." I snapped. "I don't fear you!" I yelled. He tilted his head, slow, unblinking. "You fear becoming me." My blood burned. Pain shot through my veins. The leader yanked my arm. "Don't listen to it! Move!" We sprinted toward the tunnels. Snow and dust fell as the ceiling shook. The Feral King roared, a deep cavern-ripping sound, and slammed into the barrier again. Thoom! Cracks raced across the silver light. Thoom! The ground split under us. Thoom! The hall lights shattered. We reached the exit arch of the throne hall. Just as the barrier exploded behind us, the shockwave knocked everyone off their feet. I hit the ground hard. Cold shot up my spine. Rubble rained down. The leader shouted, "He broke through! Move or die!" I scrambled up, my ears ringing, my vision flashing white from the blast. Behind me, the Feral King was emerging. Slow, massive, unstoppable. His claws crushed the stone steps. His breath fogged the entire hall. His shadow swallowed the walls. He was fully through. The Underfrost prison was open, and the monster that destroyed my ancestors was walking into the world again. I tried to run. My legs felt heavy. My blood was burning. The leader grabbed my arm again. Kid, you have to stay conscious. Don't let the bond take you." The bond. He was right. My blood kept pulling me backward, toward the Feral King, toward that cold gravity. I fought it. Every breath hurt. We stumbled into the main cavern. The lost city stretched before us, silent, ruined, frozen. The throne hall shook behind us as the feral king lumbered to the exit. One daywalker screamed, "He's following him! He's only following the heir!" My father groaned from the stretcher. No, it's worse." The leader leaned down. "What could be worse?" My father coughed silver. "He is being drawn to my son's power. The throne awakened it." The leader froze. "So the throne is calling him?" "No," my father whispered. "The throne is protecting him. The king wants to break that. He wants to get to the heir before the throne completes the awakening." My head throbbed. Silver veins pulsed under my skin. "I feel it," I whispered. "It's like he's inside my blood." The leader turned. Behind us, the feral king ripped the throne hall doors apart. Stone flew in every direction. The floor trembled. Shards of frozen stone skittered across the cavern floor. He stepped out, towering, monstrous, ancient, and spoke in a voice that shook my bones. "You cannot run from yourself." The daywalkers charged forward, not to fight, to buy us seconds. Two slammed into the feral king's arm. Their blades shattered, their bodies thrown like dolls. Another hurled a spear. It bounced off his chest like it struck steel. The leader grabbed me. "Kid, run!" I grabbed his arm back. "They'll die." He stared at me, eyes fierce. "We don't need to beat him. We just need to lead him away from the throne hall, away from your father, away from the gateway." My father raised his head. "The breach!" he gasped. The leader shook him. "What about it?" My father pointed with a shaking hand. "Take him to the breach. The third line built it as a failsafe." A failsafe, a lock, a cage. The feral king roared again, closing distance, crushing ruins with each step. The leader grabbed me by the shoulders. "Listen, we need to get to that breach before he gets his hands on you." I nodded, barely. "Where is it?" The leader pointed across the frozen city, deep under an arch of shattered stone, glowing faintly blue, the same glow from my visions. "There," he said. "Run." I turned to sprint, but paused. The feral king was almost upon us. He reached out one massive claw, not to strike, not to kill, to grab me, to claim me. His whisper tore through the hall. "Come home." I ran. The ground shook behind me. Snow fell. The ruins trembled. The daywalkers bought me seconds. Maybe minutes. The feral king followed. Not attacking. Not raging. Just walking. And he whispered one chilling truth again and again and again. "You were made for me." I ran. The frozen city blurred around me. Stone arches, collapsed towers, statues of ancestors half buried in frost. All passed in flashes of white and shadow. Behind me, every footstep of the feral king felt like an earthquake. Deep, slow, unavoidable. Thoom, thoom, thoom. Snow leapt with each impact. The ground cracked, air trembled. He wasn't chasing. He was simply moving. And that was more terrifying than a sprint. He didn't need speed to reach me. He needed inevitability. The leader sprinted beside me, breath sharp, blade shaking in his hand. "Don't look back," he shouted. I did. Of course I did. The feral king towered over the ruins. His body was bigger than the hall, maybe bigger than the throne. Fragments of black ice fell from his shoulders like ash. His eyes were locked on me, not angry, not wild, focused. His voice crawled across the city. "Blood of winter," he whispered. "Return." My legs weakened. "Don't listen," the leader yelled. I forced my eyes forward, toward the shattered arch ahead. The faint blue glow pulsed from beneath it. Soft, rhythmic, alive. The breach. The same breach from my visions. The place I saw silver symbols, where I saw the throne before I ever touched it. The daywalkers carried my father behind us. Two held the stretcher. One kept pressure on his wounds. He groaned, barely conscious. Hurry," he whispered. His eyes opened, cloudy, silver leaking around the edges. "The breach reacts to third-line blood. It will open for him, but only him. The leader looked at me, fear twisting his face. You heard him. You have to get there first. A deep creaking sound echoed behind us, stone giving way. The feral king stepped through a tower. Through it. The stone shattered around him like sand. He didn't even notice. He kept moving, straight toward me, a force of nature, a walking catastrophe. My blood pulsed, silver veins brightening under my skin. A voice echoed inside my chest, the same voice from the throne. You cannot outrun destiny, but you can meet it standing. The leader grabbed my shoulder. We're close. Just a few hundred feet. The glow grew stronger. The air grew colder. The ground beneath us hummed with energy. I felt drawn to it, not by choice, by something older, something deep within my blood. We reached the shattered arch. Below it, a spiral staircase descended into darkness, soft blue light pulsing from the depths. I stopped. Every instinct screamed at me. Go down. Go now. Now. Then a shadow swept across the ruins. The feral king reached the top of the hill behind us. His full body finally emerged, massive, terrifying, eyes locked on me. He whispered, I am your beginning. The leader screamed, Go! I rushed down the steps. The air temperature dropped with each footfall. The walls vibrated. Symbols glowed along the staircase, the same symbols that crawled across my skin. My father groaned behind me. The breach was our greatest mistake, he whispered. What is it? I shouted back. He coughed. Silver blood sprayed his lips. A doorway, the third line opened to gather power from the deep world. His eyes flickered open. We never closed it. The leader cursed under his breath. So, the feral king, he wants the breach too? My father nodded weakly. He wants what lives inside it, and he wants the air to open it fully. I reached the bottom step and froze. The breach chamber stretched out before me. A circular room with a floor of cracked silver stone. The walls were carved with spirals and symbols. A massive tear in reality hovered in the center. A rip in the air. Blue light poured from it. Cold mist drifted across the floor. Something inside the breach moved. Slow, massive, sleeping, waiting. My blood surged. It surged toward the breach, toward the thing inside. The leader grabbed my arm. Don't get close! But the pull was too strong. The breach called me. No! Recognized me. Silver veins blazed across my body. My heart hammered. My vision blurred. The thing inside the breach shifted again, its size impossible to comprehend. Its eyes, if it had eyes, glowed faintly. The feral king roared above us. The staircase shook. Stones fell. He was entering the chamber. My father screamed, Stop him! He cannot touch the breach! The leader shouted, Kid, you have to do something! But I couldn't move. I was frozen. Frozen by familiarity, by recognition. The energy inside the breach felt like my blood, like my veins, like the throne, like home. And then, the breach whispered to me, soft, cold, perfectly clear. Come closer, air. It begins with you. I stepped toward it, unable to resist. The feral king roared behind me, not in triumph, in warning. No, he growled. Not yet. He wasn't trying to stop me. He was trying to stop the breach. My father screamed, Run! But I didn't run. I reached out my hand. The breach reached back, and reality cracked. The moment my fingertips touched the breach, the world split open. A blast of blue-white energy ripped through the chamber. The daywalkers were thrown into the walls. My father hit the floor hard. The leader shielded his face as shards of frost flew like knives. The feral king roared, a roar that shook the bones of the city. He reached the bottom of the stairs, his claws gouging trenches in the stone. But even he hesitated, because the breach responded to me, and only me. The tear in reality brightened. Lines of light spread across the floor. Ancient symbols lit up in a circle. My veins glowed the same color. I felt my body rise, not floating, being lifted, chosen. The breach whispered again, clear, cold, familiar. Awaken. Let the old bond return. My chest burned. Silver fire spiraled out of my ribs. My breath froze midair. I screamed, but the scream came out layered, echoing. Wrong. The leader staggered to his feet, eyes wide. He's activating it! The heir is activating the breach! My father forced himself upright, bleeding, shaking. No! Stop him! The leader grabbed his own hair, panic in his voice. How? Touching him right now would kill me! My father shouted through pain. That breach holds an ancient being, a power too great for any bloodline. The chamber vibrated harder. The breach swelled, widening, deepening, breathing. The thing inside moved again. Slow, cold, ageless. I saw it. Not clearly, not fully, but I saw it. A shape like a serpent made of winter wind. A skeleton of ice. Eyes like collapsing stars. A presence older than vampires. Older than the feral king. Older than the throne. It pressed against the breach. Not malicious. Not hungry. Curious. Recognizing me. The feral king slammed his palm into the stone floor. Enough! His voice boomed like a storm. He charged. Fast. Faster than anything that big should move. He wasn't coming for me. He was coming for the breach. The leader screamed, "He's trying to destroy it!" My father yelled, "He can't! Not while the heir is touching it!" The feral king reached me, and the breach blasted him backward. A wall of blue flame. Raw energy. Ancient power. He crashed into a pillar. Stone shattered. Dust filled the air. He rose instantly, eyes burning black. His voice shook the chamber. "Heir! Back away!" The breach pulsed again. A heartbeat of energy. My body jerked. My vision flickered. The thing inside the breach whispered, "You were born marked. We have been waiting." I felt something hook into my spine. A pull. A connection. A bond. Blood poured from my nose. Silver. Hot. Painful. The feral king snarled. I said, "Back. Away!" He leapt at me again. The breach stopped him again. Lightning shot across the chamber. Frost shattered. Wind roared. The feral king was thrown across the room, but he kept crawling back, dragging himself, dragging his broken limbs. He wasn't fighting me. He was fighting it. My father screamed over the chaos. "Son, listen to me!" The breach drowned him out. Another whisper. "Come closer. Let the old world return. Let the throne remember itself." The leader screamed, "He's being pulled in, we're losing him!" I tried to pull my hand back. It didn't move. The breach held me. Tight. Unbreakable. Pain tore through my palm. My fingertips cracked. Silver blood flowed upward. Into the breach. The feral king began to panic. Real panic. His voice trembled for the first time. "Heir, you do not know what lies beyond that door." The breach whispered, "You are the key." My body arched in pain. Energy surged through me. My bones vibrated. My heart stuttered. The feral king lunged again. His claws scraped sparks from the floor. He roared, "Oh, stop! Stop! You cannot open that! You were not meant to!" The breach cut him off. A beam of pure light erupted. Straight upward. Straight through me. My vision exploded. I saw the lost city. Saw the throne. Saw the ancient battles. Saw the feral king's creation. Saw the purge. Saw my mother binding something terrible with her blood. And then I saw something new. A silver door. Locked. Waiting. Breathing. Inside that door was a voice. Cold. Ancient. "Come. Let us finish what your ancestors began," my father screamed. "Son, pull away!" The feral king screamed. "Heir, do not open that door!" The leader screamed too. "We're dead if he touches it, all of us!" But I was already stepping forward. Not by choice. The breach was pulling me in. Reality cracked. Stone dissolved. Light swallowed the chamber. And then, the breach spoke a final whisper. Open. The breach swallowed the light. Everything turned white, then blue, then nothing at all. I wasn't falling. I wasn't floating. I wasn't standing. I was between. A thin line stretched across the void, a line of frost, a path only I could see. The voice from earlier whispered again. Come forward, heir. I stepped onto the frost path. My foot didn't touch anything solid, but it held me. Barely. The world around me shifted. Shapes formed, collapsed, reformed. I saw shadows of giant beings, tall as towers, skin made of smoke and ice, eyes burning white. Not vampires, not ferals, not anything I knew. They knelt in a circle, whispering in a language older than breath, older than blood, older than the world. Then the void shifted again. I saw the third line, alive, thousands, towers rising, snow glowing with runes, silver fires burning in the streets. I saw the feral king, not monstrous, not broken, beautiful, calm, a warrior of the third line, a protector. He looked straight at me, not through time, not through vision, through memory, and his eyes said everything. Help me. The scene shattered. The frost path trembled. I kept walking. The breach ahead glowed brighter. A circular door of pure silver light. Symbols pulsed across it. The same symbols that lived under my skin. The voice spoke again. Do not fear. The door recognizes you. Fear surged anyway. Who are you? I whispered. The void rippled. A cold wind circled my legs. The voice answered from everywhere at once. We are the first winter. The ones your ancestors tore power from. The ones bound inside the breach. My stomach dropped. You're not, one thing, I said. The wind laughed, soft, cold. We were many, now we are one. I swallowed hard. What do you want from me? The voice grew gentle, almost kind. Freedom. The frost path shook. A crack formed beneath my feet. The feral king's voice echoed faintly behind me. Heir, do not listen to them! I turned. He was far away. A tiny shadow at the edge of the breach, clawing at the barrier of light, trying to reach me. His voice broke. They are not gods. They are not power. They are not for you. The ancient voice roared in response. Silence, beast. A shockwave blasted through the void. The feral king was thrown backward, farther, farther, until he vanished into the dark. The frost path nearly collapsed under my feet. I steadied myself. What are you doing to him? I shouted. The voice softened. We protect you. He would drag you to ruin. My pulse hammered. My breath froze. My chest ached under pressure. He said he wasn't trying to kill me, I whispered. He was trying to stop the breach. The voice went sharp. He lies. Another step. Another surge of cold. The silver door towered before me. 10 times taller. 10 times wider. Alive. Waiting. My veins pulsed silver under my skin. I reached out my hand, and the door reached back, a perfect mirror of my gesture, a hand of pure light pressed against mine. The ancient voice whispered the final word. Open. I pushed. The door groaned. Reality screamed. Ice shattered. Light exploded outward. The voice behind the door whispered, Thank you. I was thrown backward, slammed out of the breach, and hit the chamber floor with a crack that shook the city. I gasped. My vision blurred. My hands shook violently. The breach behind me was no longer sealed. It was glowing wide open, a swirling, moving world of light and shadow. The daywalkers stared in horror. My father stared in despair. The feral king, on his knees, looked at the open breach like a man watching the end of the world. The leader screamed, What did you do? I tried to answer, tried to speak, but the breach whispered behind me, Come closer, heir. We are free now. And the feral king whispered, No, 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 you do not understand what you have let out. The chamber walls cracked. The ceiling shook. Cold bursts of wind shot outward. Whatever was inside the breach was stepping into our world. The breach widened. A low hum filled the chamber. Not sound. Vibration. A slow, steady pulse that crawled under my skin. The daywalkers pressed themselves against the walls, terrified, speechless. My father tried to push himself up. He collapsed. Silver blood dripped through his fingers. The Feral King, the monster who crushed cities, the nightmare of the Underfrost, the destroyer of Bloodlines, was bowing, on both knees, head lowered, hands pressed to the stone. He whispered, "Do not come through. Not here. Not now." The breach answered, "We are already here." Blue light spilled in waves across the floor. Every symbol carved into the walls lit up. Frost formed in perfect patterns, like the chamber was preparing itself for something sacred, something impossible, something wrong. The leader stumbled toward me. Kid, what did you open?" I shook my head, breathing hard, heart pounding cold. I don't know, but part of me did know. Deep in my bones, deep in my blood. Something had been waiting behind that silver door long before I was born, before the third line fell, before the royals rose, before the Feral King turned monstrous. Something ancient, something older, and now it walked into our world. The breach twisted, the light bent, the shape of something began to form. At first, a silhouette, tall, luminous, shifting like ice smoke. Then, arms, long, thin, made of swirling frost. A head, crowned with jagged shards, not bone, not metal, cold crystallized into form. Its body stretched 10 feet tall, pale blue, translucent, alive with moving patterns of winter. Eyes opened last, white, empty, endless. The chamber froze solid. Even the Feral King trembled. The being stepped fully out of the breach and the entire lost city shuddered. The leader fell to his knees. "What? What is that?" my father whispered through clenched teeth. "One of the first winter." The being turned its head, slow, effortless, curious. It didn't look at the daywalkers, or the Feral King, or my father. It looked at me, and when it spoke, the chamber cracked. "Heir!" The Feral King roared in pure terror. "Do not speak to him!" The ancient being ignored him. It stepped closer. Each footfall shook frost from the ceiling. Its presence pressed on my chest, tight, heavy, like gravity had thickened around me. I took a step back. My legs barely worked. "Why are you here?" I whispered. It tilted its head. Its voice slid through the chamber like silk dragged across ice. "To continue what your ancestors began." The leader shouted, "Back away from him!" The being didn't blink. "Your blood calls us. Your mark opens our path." My mark burned. My arm trembled. A cold line traced up my spine. "What do you want?" I asked. It answered simply, "Balance." The Feral King slammed his claws into the wall. "Lies!" he roared. "They want dominion! They want your throne! They will feed on your blood!" The ancient being turned toward him, head tilting. "You were once useful," it said. "Now you are broken." The Feral King charged, a mountain of black ice and fury. He leapt, claws out, roaring. The ancient being raised one hand, just one. The air cracked. The Feral King froze mid-air, his entire body locked in place. The being whispered, "Be still." The Feral King crashed to the floor, hard. Stone shattered beneath him. He didn't move, not because he was dead, because he couldn't. The chamber shook with his contained rage. The ancient being turned back to me. It stepped close, too close. Its cold breath washed over my face. My skin went numb. My vision blurred. It reached toward my chest. "Come, heir of winter. Let us show you your true form." My father screamed. "No! Don't touch him!" The ancient being moved its hand another inch. The cold shot into my ribs, and my blood exploded in silver light. A shockwave blasted outward. The ancient being staggered. The first time anything had pushed it back in a millennium. It steadied itself, head slowly tilting in surprise. "You resist us," I gasped, sweat freezing on my skin. "I'm not yours." The being stared at me, really stared, and for the first time, I saw emotion, not anger, not disappointment, recognition. "You hold something forbidden." Its voice darkened. "Who gave you the throne's spark?" I didn't answer. Behind it, the breach pulsed. The city trembled. The feral king strained against invisible bonds. The ancient being lowered its hand. "Then we must take it." My blood roared. Silver veins flared. Every symbol in the chamber glowed. The being stepped closer, hands spreading, its voice deep. "We reclaim our power." And then, it lunged for my chest. The ancient being lunged, a blur of frost and blinding blue light. Its hand shot toward my chest, straight for my heart. I braced. But I wasn't fast enough. Nobody was. Just before its hand touched me, my blood exploded. A burst of silver light erupted from my ribs. Pure force. Pure instinct. Pure throne. The blast launched the ancient being backward. It skidded across the chamber floor, frost trailing behind it, walls cracking under the impact. It caught itself in a kneeling position, head tilted, studying me. The leader whispered behind me. "He knocked it back." My father's voice was barely audible. "That shouldn't be possible." The ancient being stood again, slow, graceful, almost impressed. "You wield the spark." I clutched my chest. My heartbeat hammered. Silver veins burned along my arms. "What spark?" I gasped. The being stepped closer again, not attacking this time, examining. "The spark of the throne, the final fragment of its core, the piece that vanished when the third line fell." My breath caught. "The throne is alive. It protected me. It awakened me." The being nodded once, slow. The throne was never a seat. It was never a crown. It was a cage. A chill ran through me. A cage for what? The ancient leaned down until its faceless glowing eyes were inches from mine. "For us." The chamber shook with its words. Symbols on the walls pulsed. Ice cracked. My father tried to speak, tried to warn me, but blood filled his throat. I swallowed hard. "You're not gods," I whispered. "You're prisoners." The voice smiled inside my skull. "All power begins in chains." The feral king roared from across the chamber, still pinned by the ancient's earlier command, but fighting it, clawing trenches into the stone. "Heir, don't believe them! They destroyed your ancestors! They killed my line!" The ancient snapped its fingers. A sound like breaking ice. A wave of cold silence slammed over the feral king. He collapsed again, barely breathing, barely moving, still alive, still conscious, forced to watch. The ancient approached me slowly, step by step, no rush. "Give us the spark." "What if I don't?" I whispered. Its voice deepened. "Then we take it." A new symbol flared across the floor. A circle, a seal, ancient, older than the throne, older than the breach, older than everything. The ancient being raised its hand. Frost spiraled upward. Reality bent inward. "Kneel, heir, before your makers." My legs buckled. A force pushed down on my shoulders. Gravity thickened like liquid. Air tightened. I couldn't breathe, couldn't move, couldn't think. The leader struggled upright. "Hey!" he screamed. "Leave him!" The ancient flicked its fingers. The leader flew across the room, hit a pillar, didn't move. My father crawled forward, bleeding out, barely conscious. "Let him go." He coughed. The ancient didn't even turn. "You are irrelevant." I felt my knees hit the floor. Stone cracked under the pressure. The ancient reached out. Its hand hovered above my chest, light swirling, frost forming around its fingers. It whispered, "Give us the spark." My heart pounded. My eyes burned. The spark inside me pulsed. Once, twice, louder, brighter, angrier. The ancient leaned closer. "We will forge a new world. Through you. With your blood. With your heart." My vision blurred. My strength drained. The spark dimmed, and then exploded. A voice boomed in my skull. Not the ancient. Not the breach. The throne. A thunderous whisper. "Rise, heir!" Silver power roared inside me. My legs straightened. My spine locked. My arms shook. I rose to my feet, pushing against the ancient's grip. The being stumbled backward, shocked, confused. The chamber lights flared silver. Not blue, not white. Silver. The color of my bloodline. The color of the throne. The ancient hissed. "Impossible!" The spark surged across my chest, across my arms, across my face. My veins glowed like molten metal. I whispered, "I'm not your heir." The ancient froze. I stepped forward. "I'm the throne's." The being reeled back. Fear, real fear, settled across its glowing eyes. "No. The throne cannot choose an heir. The throne cannot awaken without..." A deep roar shook the chamber. The feral king. His bonds cracked. He rose slowly, painfully, one knee, then the other. His voice thundered. "It has." The ancient turned toward him. "You were not part of the plan." The feral king snarled. "I am the broken plan." I stepped forward again, power burning under my skin. The ancient backed away. "Stay away from him." I raised my hand. Silver light ignited from my palm. Pure, alive, throne-born. The ancient staggered. "You should not exist." I grinned through clenched teeth. "Funny," I said. "That's exactly what your friend the royal king said." The ancient shrieked. "The spark! You cannot hold it! It will destroy you!" Maybe, but right now, it was the only thing keeping me alive. And keeping them terrified. The ancient being retreated. Slow, shocked, eyes wide with a kind of fear I didn't think ancient gods could feel. Its voice cracked. "You are unstable." Maybe I was. My veins pulsed with silver light. My chest burned. My breath shook. I felt like I was holding lightning inside my bones. But I didn't back down. Behind the ancient, the breach twisted wider. Blue winds spiraled through the chamber. Voices echoed from the other side. Not one voice, many. A chorus, moving, waking. I realized the truth. If this being crossed over, others would follow. The ancient sensed my fear. It stepped toward me again. "You cannot contain what you carry." The feral king broke his restraints. The crack of invisible chains snapping echoed like thunder. Ancient symbols burned away under his strength. Frost blasted outward as he rose to his full, terrifying height. He roared, "He does not stand alone!" The ancient turned to him, cold, unbothered. "You were made to serve." The feral king's chest expanded with a deep inhale. "I was made to protect." The ancient's fingers curled. Its voice darkened. "Protect? You failed your entire bloodline." The feral king lunged, faster than a creature his size should move. He slammed into the ancient. They crashed through a pillar. Stone exploded. Frost and blue light blasted in every direction. The chamber shook violently. The ground cracked. Dust fell in sheets. The daywalker scrambled for cover. The leader grabbed my arm. "Kid, we need to move!" But I couldn't. I couldn't take my eyes off the fight. The feral king grabbed the ancient by its crystalline throat. The ancient struck back. A blast of cold that froze half his arm solid. He roared, shattered the ice with brute strength, lifted the ancient off the ground. The being didn't panic, didn't scream. It whispered, "Broken creature." It stabbed a spear of ice into his shoulder. The feral king staggered. Black ice fractured across his chest, but he didn't fall. Instead, he twisted his massive body and hurled the ancient across the chamber. It slammed into the far wall. The stone cratered around it. The ancient stood immediately, barely scratched. Its voice echoed, "We are many. You are one." The feral king laughed. A dark, bitter laugh. Then let one be enough. He charged again. He didn't fight like a monster. He fought like someone who remembered being a warrior. Someone who remembered honor. Someone who remembered purpose. Someone who remembered me. The ancient hurled a beam of frost energy. The feral king blocked it with his forearm, flesh burning away, revealing bone and colder ice beneath. He still did not fall. My legs trembled. He was fighting for me. For me. My father, still bleeding on the floor, whispered hoarsely, "He's, protecting you. Like he protected us. Before the purge." The leader stared at me. "You're telling me this thing used to be loyal?" My father coughed. "Not loyal. Devoted." The chamber boomed again. The feral king sank his claws into the ancient's torso, dragging it backward away from me, away from the breach, away from the throne's spark. The ancient's voice shook with rage. "You cannot win." The feral king roared back. "Winning was never the point!" He slammed the ancient into the floor. The ground split. Blue light burst upward. The ancient flickered. Its form wavered. It re-solidified instantly. It raised its hand. A killing blow. A spear of white energy aimed for the feral king's heart. I reacted without thinking. Silver erupted from my hand. A bolt of light. Pure throne power. It struck the ancient's arm and blasted it sideways. The spear hit the wall instead. Stone melted into powder. The ancient turned its head toward me. Slowly. Deliberately. "Heir, you interfere." I stepped forward. My hands shook. My veins glowed. "I won't let you kill him." The ancient stared. "He is broken. Corrupted. A failed design." I shook my head. "He saved me." The ancient stepped closer. "He was designed to kill you." The feral king lowered his head. Not in shame, in pain. My heart clenched. The ancient continued. "Your mother rewrote the ritual. She bound him to you. She made him protective, obedient, and that fault line destroyed his mind." I swallowed hard. "Then why does he still protect me now?" The ancient didn't answer. It couldn't. The feral king answered for it. His voice broke. "Because you are mine to guard." My chest ached. Something inside me shifted. The ancient being rose to its full height. "Enough sentiment. We take the spark now." It moved faster than I could see. Straight toward me. The feral king threw himself between us, taking the full blow. The spear of white energy pierced through his back, exploded out his chest. He roared in agony, dropped to one knee. Black ice splintered across the floor. The ancient whispered, "Broken things should not interfere." I screamed, "Stop!" My spark pulsed, violent, wild, uncontrolled. The chamber filled with silver light. The ancient was finally pushed away. But the feral king, he collapsed to the floor, breathing shallow, blood freezing beneath him. My father whispered, "No, no, he can't die. Not now." I fell to my knees beside him. "Get up," I whispered. He didn't move. "Please, get up." His eyes opened slightly. He stared at me, not as a monster, as something else entirely. "Run! Heir!" I shook my head. "No." His voice dropped to a whisper. "Don't. Let them take you." His eyes closed. The ancient being stepped toward us, its voice cold, final. "The broken protector has fallen. Now, you are ours." The ancient being stepped over the rubble. Its movement was smooth, effortless, predatory. The cold around it thickened. My breath froze. My legs trembled. It raised one crystalline hand. "Stand, Heir." I didn't. I stayed on my knees beside the feral king. His breathing was faint, shallow, barely there. Black ice spread from the wound in his chest. His skin cracked. Veins pulsed weakly. He was dying. Fast. The ancient being stopped in front of me. Tall, cold, all-consuming. "Do not grieve for the broken one. He was created to obey, nothing more." I clenched my teeth. Anger burned through me. "You don't get to talk about him." The ancient leaned down. We made you. We made your people. We make what we please. I shook my head. No. My voice cracked. You made cages. You made weapons. You made monsters. The ancient tilted its head. And you are the last of them. Its hand hovered inches from my chest. I felt the pull. The spark inside me strained. It wanted out. It wanted to answer. It wanted to break free. I grabbed the feral king's arm. His skin was cold. Too cold. Please, I whispered. Stay with me. His eyes fluttered open, just barely. He looked at me, not with hunger, not with instinct, with clarity, with memory. His voice was rough, dry, almost human. Don't be afraid. My throat tightened. I need you, I whispered. A faint smile cracked the corner of his frozen jaw. Then, run. He couldn't move, couldn't fight, could barely breathe. And still, he told me to survive. The ancient grew impatient. This moment of weakness ends now. It reached toward me again. I stood, slowly, shaking, barely holding myself up. But I stood. The ancient froze. The spark inside my chest flared silver. My veins lit like molten metal. The ground beneath me cracked. The ancient whispered, "You are awakening too fast." The leader shouted from across the chamber, "He's going to explode." Maybe. It felt like it. Like my body couldn't contain the spark any longer. Like every beat of my heart tore reality wider. The ancient stepped back. One step, then another. It raised both hands. "Heir, still yourself. Your vessel is too weak." I shook my head. "No." My voice echoed, layered, cold, alive. "I'm done kneeling." The ancient hissed. It slammed its palms together. A shockwave burst outward, aimed at me, aimed to crush me. The spark reacted on its own. A silver barrier flashed around me. The shockwave broke against it, shattered, dissolved. The ancient froze again. "That is impossible." I took a step forward. "No," I said. "That's the throne." The ancient's eyes flickered. For the first time, fear. Real fear. It whispered, "The throne recognizes you." "But why?" My heartbeat thundered. The spark roared, and suddenly, I understood. Not fully, not clearly, but enough. "The throne wasn't a cage," I said quietly. "It was a guardian." The ancient stiffened. Fractures spread across its icy skin. "No." I nodded slowly. "It wasn't built to imprison you. It was built to stop you." The ancient shrieked, a sound like ice-breaking mountains. "Lies! We are the first winter." "You're not winter," I said. "You're a storm, a mistake, a threat." The ancient's form began to distort. Its voice layered itself. "You know nothing." The spark inside me pulsed again. I pointed at the breach. "Then why did the throne open for me?" The ancient stumbled backward. "The throne chose incorrectly." "No," I said. "It chose the only one who could stop you." Everything went silent. The ancient's breath halted. The air froze around us. For a moment, just a moment, there was no war, no breach, no throne, just truth. The ancient being whispered, "You are the last heir, and the throne wants you to kill us." My throat tightened. I whispered back, "I don't want to kill anyone." The ancient stared. "But you must." It raised its hands again. "Or we will kill your world." Behind me, the feral king exhaled weakly, barely alive, barely conscious. The ancient moved its hands into a forming gesture, a final spell, a killing blow. "Choose heir." My pulse thundered. My blood shook. The spark screamed inside me. The ancient's voice dropped to a whisper. "Choose what you stand for." And then it thrust its hand toward me. A spear of cold light shot forward, straight for my heart. The ancient spear of cold light shot toward my heart. I didn't move. I couldn't. There was no time, no space, no breath. The spear hit my chest, and everything exploded, but not outward, inward. The spark ignited, A blast of silver erupted from my ribs. Not a shield, not a barrier, a shockwave. The spear shattered mid-air. Fragments dissolved into dust. The ancient staggered backward, its form distorting like heat on glass. It hissed, "The spark is fully awakening. He is not ready." Too late. My body lifted off the ground, feet inches above the stone, arms pulled outward by pure force. Silver light poured from every vein. Every symbol on the floor lit up. The throne's power roared through the chamber. I wasn't in control. I wasn't conscious. I was a conduit. The ancient's voice cracked. "Stop him!" Others answered from within the breach. Dozens, hundreds, a chorus of cold and hunger. "Take the spark! Break his vessel! Tear open the door!" The feral king, bleeding broken, barely alive, raised his head. With the last of his strength, he roared, "He is not yours!" He pushed himself up, one knee, then the other. His body shook violently. Black ice splintered off him. He staggered to his feet, but the ancient saw him. It snapped its fingers. Invisible chains wrapped around him, tight, crushing. He dropped instantly, pinned, defenseless. The ancient turned back to me. "Heir, release the spark. Give it to us. Surrender." My body shook. My voice layered itself. "I can't." The ancient raised both hands. Blue winds spiraled. The chamber darkened. The breach widened. "Then we will rip it from you." It lunged, and that was the moment everything changed, because the throne answered. A roar of silver burst outward. The ground cracked. The air split. The walls bowed. The ancient was blasted backward, thrown across the chamber like debris. The spark inside me surged again, and again and again, until a wave of power exploded outward. Silver lightning, sharp, cold, alive. The ancient shrieked, parts of its body shattered, reformed, shattered again. It yelled, "Makuro! The throne is too strong, we must retreat!" Voices from the breach screamed, "The door is open, we do not retreat!" The ancient snapped, "If he fully awakens the spark, we die!" Blue static tore across the chamber. The breach rippled. Shapes moved behind the veil. Something enormous pressed forward. The surface of the breach stretched like skin. The daywalkers screamed, "It's coming through!" My father reached toward me, shaking, bleeding, barely conscious. "Son, stop! You'll tear yourself apart!" The spark didn't listen. It pulsed again, stronger, louder. The entire city shook. The ancient tried one last attack, a beam of crushing cold. It hit the silver aura around me, and dissolved instantly. The ancient stumbled back, horror twisting its face. The spark chose him. The throne chose him. "We cannot take it!" The breach screamed behind it. "Then destroy him!" The ancient snapped its hands outward. Chains of frost lashed toward me. The feral king broke free. His roar shook the world. He hurled himself between me and the chains. They wrapped around his body instead, cutting deep, carving through ice and bone. He didn't care. He shielded me with his body. The ancient screamed, "Fool!" The feral king roared back, "He is mine to protect!" The chains snapped. The spark inside me answered the cry. Silver tore upward, a column of pure light, connecting me to the ceiling, the throne, the city, the ancient past. The entire chamber went weightless. Stones floated. Snow hung in the air. Time slowed. Only one thing moved freely. The spark. It flared outward like a star being born. A shockwave swept across the chamber, silver and white and blinding. The ancient shrieked. Its form rippled, shattered. Its torso cracked apart. Its head fractured down the middle. It whispered, "No. Not the end. Not yet." The spark blasted again. A final devastating wave of power. The ancient exploded into shards of ice and blue smoke. The entire breach flickered. Voices screamed, "The heir is awakened! Close the door! Retreat! Retreat!" The breach slammed shut. Blue light collapsed inward. The tear in reality sealed. The room went dark. The spark inside me dimmed. Silver faded from my veins. my feet touched the ground again. Silence. Dust settled. Frost peeled away. The feral king collapsed beside me, barely breathing. My father lay motionless. The daywalkers were scattered across the floor. The leader whispered, "My God. Kid, you just ended a war 1,000 years old." But I didn't feel victory. I didn't feel triumph. I felt hollow. Because the feral king was dying. And my father might be too. And the throne inside me was only half awake. I knelt beside the feral king. "Stay with me," I whispered. His eyes flickered open. Barely. "Heir," he rasped. "You chose, well..." His head fell forward. The daywalkers stared. My father gasped a final breath and whispered, "Tomorrow, everything changes."